all man in place day. Una good evening for all man, for all our people, them for all over the world. Una good evening. We will start small time with just the way make the people them for ACN. Make them let we know whether they already connect with for TV. Now the thing that would wait before we start. We go play the anthem, and then we go knock some small music, and then we go start. Okay, they tell we say, all right. They tell we say we did live for TV right now. All right, my fellow Ambazonians, una good evening for all una. I hope say, even though we're there for the middle of a war of independence, we hope say for Christmas Day we just passed. We hope say family then too. Even that people that there for bush, or the one that did for refugee camps, whether any place we be there, we hope say for that Christmas Day too, we'll be being at the day where we celebrate love for life, we celebrate peace, we celebrate oneness, and we celebrate the future. We hope say for that day, any man be get some small thing for chop, or if be get a moment for tell God say thank you for life, or if be being for some place where you be fit for dance, and for tell God thank you for life, and for our people them, and for tell God thank you for the courage. Say our people they don't rise up finally, for make sure say Ambazonia, it reflect the image of the creation of God. For make sure say our people they get justice, for make sure say our people they get good life, for make sure say our people they get freedom. All right. So I hope say all man in Christmas be pass fine. I hope say all man be day safe. Make we play Ambazonia anthem. Before we want to play one anthem, I just tell you now what today inside story for today. Today we get big story. The big story we don't come out today. Now about the election where they come up for the governing council of Ambazonia. I go to explain them for all man today because we don't get plenty calls. Ambazonia they be very worried, they be very concerned. Say why the governing council of Ambazonia they can't hold election for the middle of a war of independence. The leader, he don't talk. I don't talk for the leader. He don't talk with him. I get for can't tell what people them and what people they need to understand. And why it be important for the Ambazonian people them during this time, what you will need for do, and why this election, where it take place for Governing Council of Ambazonia, for the leadership for Governing Council of Ambazonia, why it matter for the Ambazonian people as well. So the story over plenty, the story for today now, primarily for me for give clarity about what it be leadership be think about, why this thing matter for the Ambazonian people them, and why it matter for the Governing Council of Ambazonia as the leading movement for a war of independence. So I go help for bring understanding and clarity, make people know over worry. So, but before then, before one go for that conversation, make a take now. I go for the for Canada here, where Ambazonians and for Canada, they be capture the colonial embassy. They capture the colonial embassy for Canada here. And they take over that embassy, they put Ambazonian flag for Ottawa for Canada here. Maybe we use that video, we play Ambazonian anthem from there.
Hail, hail, hail the land of glory, which Ambazonia pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son and Savior who granted us the freedom and led us to the heroes who bought the land with their blood. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in the nation, flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation and joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, we shall live in plenty, living our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, we shall live in plenty, living our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of His nation.
Yes. The video where when I just see them, that one na Ambazonians and that for this side for Canada, where they go gather for the colonial embassy for Cameroon, their colonial embassy for Ottawa for Canada, yeah. And they decide they want to take their country back. So Ambazonia them for Canada, they capture the colonial embassy, they drive the ambassador or the Cameroon Colonial Higher Commissioner, they take over the embassy, they pin Ambazonian flag, and an Ambazonian will be the chairman for AGovC for Canada. Now he be captured, now he be take over for become the first Ambazonian ambassador for Canada when they take over that embassy. Before Canada Federal Police, they come for they can't talk for Ambazonia them. They not kill no man, they not beat no man, they not arrest no man. Because all Ambazonia them for Canada are also citizens them for Canada. The police they come for they ask them what did happen now, they tell them, the police they say, okay, you know, fine, make all man come off outside, they come outside, they talk, and then the matter end for day. But it's been a very good day because now the first time for the history of the Ambazonian people then, for tell la Republic of Cameroon say, we get the possibility, we'll be powerful enough, we'll be strong enough, say for any part of the world, we fit take back what it belong to the Ambazonian people then. So for take back that embassy, for capture that embassy, pin Ambazonian flag for Ottawa for Canada. Now the first message that for Senate for la Republic say, the independence of Ambazonia. Not be a joking matter. This war of independence, the Ambazonian people will take back their country. We go take back our country. No compromise, no good for that one. So now we don't bring we for the story for today. A few hours ago, about 6 or 7 hours ago or so, leader for a war of independence, Dr. Ayabacho, he don't come for outside for his social media, for his Facebook and for his Twitter. He don't go right and say for February where they come so for February for 2021. Say the governing council of Ambazonia, he go the whole leadership election. That means say within the governing council of Ambazonia, when are the leading movement, where they lead the Ambazonian people them into freedom. They go to hold their leadership election for 2016. For 2017, yes. The people for governing council of Ambazonia, they be elect Dr. Ayabacho for be the president of governing council of Ambazonia. When they elect him, the election they take place now every 4 years. The 4 years they can't reach. The people they don't get meeting yesterday. They get executive meeting yesterday for do an evaluation of the state of our revolution and for also do an evaluation for take all the things that already happen. For look and if leadership don't be effective. For reach the goals them with the leadership it promised the Ambazonian people. They meet up yesterday and for start for look for 2021 what it go be the vision where the governing council of Ambazonia, it get them for the Ambazonian people, which will be the vision, how they go about diplomacy, and how the strategy for the war of independence, for make sure say things that continue for work fine for the Ambazonian people, them, for make sure say the Ambazonian people that they do what they supposed to do, both on the ground and diplomatically, for the leadership, for make sure say it give the Ambazonian people their country back. They get the executive meeting. They talk better story than yesterday. Now for that they can't put the day for this election when they come up for February. So Ambazonians, since they publish that news for yesterday, also for that same post where the leader published them yesterday, I also put them for my press secretary page. People start call. We start to get plenty phone calls them. Because the leader also talks he also talks for January 9, now they were Ambazonians them from all over the world. They go come together for honor the 20-something Ambazonia Defense Forces fighter them. With Samuel Sakoyi and Chris Anu. When a la Republic agents, we probably implant them for Ambazonian War of Independence. For Chakaram, for key fighters them, and then end the war for Ground Zero. So that made them the rush. They go sign a peace deal with Pobia. Una sabi say, for December last year, Samuel Sako and Chris Anu, they instruct the Bui warriors when General Efang with 23 other ADF top commanders and fighters. They be go for Bui for go give weapons and divide weapons for stop la Republic of Cameroon that their election will take place for 2019. They give instructions for kidnap those forces and they kill all 23 ADF fighters. The only person will be succeed for disappear. It be na General Efang. So the leader also talks say for January 9, Ambazonians will come together for honor the killings, for honor the lives of those 20-something ADF fighters who they kill them for Bui. And then they will do a fundraising in their memory for make Bui, make it be stable so that this kind of thing no go ever happen again. Make Bui be stable because we don't hear again, say for Christmas Day, inside the state of Bui, Samuel Sako is send Samuel Sako and Chris Anu. They send the Bui warriors. May they go for place where Ambazonia they just shit on them. Say may they drink small meal for Christmas. The Bui warriors they go there, they go kill 2 Ambazonian civilians. They go for place where Ambazonia they just shit on. Say na Christmas Day. And this one are liberated communities. Now places where Ambazonia they don't liberate them. These Bui warriors, when are a proxy forces of La Republique of Cameroon, will be controlled by Samuel Sako and Chris Anu. They go for they take gun. They shoot 2 Ambazonia them for evening time. They say why? They can't shoot on for their drinking bowl. So on the 9th, all men therefore gather for come together for honor the lives of the 20-something Ambazonian special fighters them of the ADF, where Sakoyi and Chris Anu, they kill them for Bui. We go come that they honor them, and we go do a fundraising for put more materials for Bui. Make the Ambazonian Defense Forces for Bui, where they liberate that state. May they become more stronger for make sure say Bui be very stable. Just as we stabilize all the other places then for Ambazonia, we also get for stabilize Bui. Alright? It talk up. So we start to get plenty calls them. We start get calls them. People they start call say, I say PS. Now what did it happen? People they start for write for the leader in Facebook directly. We start to get plenty Facebook message them. And then I get a lot of people they call me even when I try for sleep. They call. I say PS ASU. Now what did it happen? Why it be say for the middle of a war where Dr. Ebadi lead that war? How the AGovC want go hold election? What if they not elect Dr. Eba? Now what it go happen with Ambazonian War of Independence? Oh, that means say the revolution. Oh, no, we be talk say every AGovC not be stable. All the other movement they don't fall. Now so that they talk. They say the only movement where they count upon, they depend upon, say go deliver independence and freedom for the Ambazonian people then. Ambazonians they start for fear say, AGovC too, it not be stable, it not be dependable. What if leadership can change? What if some other person come, now he can't take over governing council of Ambazonia? How that person will manage continue with Dr. Aba's strategy? How that person will manage continue for lead the ADF the way Dr. Abba don't lead them? How that person will manage continue with the kind of diplomatic successes? How that person will manage continue for defend Ambazonia with the no blinking attitude where Dr. Abba don't give the Ambazonian people? So people they be very worried. People they be very concerned. One thing we get for know, and I say, most African countries, when they be take over their country back from the colonial period for gain their independence, they make this same argument. They say, oh, just because we take our country back, we not get for follow some kind processes. We not get for be democratic. We not get for be transparent. We get for use power. And they take that style, they take Africa, they turn them into autocratic states. Till today, the African people them, for most African countries, they pay the price for dictatorship. They pay the price for autocracy. They pay the price for making powerful people instead of building powerful institutions where they go stand the test of time. Now, I call the leader. I say, Mr. President, people, they be Ambazonians, they be very worried. It's a PS. Ambazonians, they don't need for be very worried. Because we don't build institutions. When are these institutions then? We start for practice how for run a country, how for lead a people. Now all these institutions then we don't build them. It say we must practice good governance. Ambazonians they no go wait until we get independence. Then we practice good governance. We no go wait until Ambazonia get total independence and then they get a free homeland. And then we practice transparency. We no go wait until Ambazonia be totally liberated. Then we practice accountability. We no go wait until Ambazonia become free. And then we respect the charter of the Governing Council of Ambazonia and respect constitutions of our institution. We no go wait. So, they build the Governing Council of Ambazonia as an institution will be incorruptible. As an institution, you know if you bribe the people them. You know if you change the system just because make it favor a particular time. Make it favor a particular person. Make it favor a particular event. No. The build system where they go last and they go stand the test of time. Just like the American people then. They build their system 200 and something years later. Donald Trump don't try for twist that system. It no work out. So, we no go wait until we get a free homeland. Then we practice good governance. We got to start for practice good governance now. We got to start for respect our own charter, our own constitution of our institutions and now. Now the difference that between the Governing Council of Ambazonia as the leading movement for the liberation of Ambazonia and any other movement, we don't come off outside. Say the one stand for also advocate for Ambazonia independence. Now the difference that. So Ambazonia will need for trust. Say as the leader don't lead the Ambazonian people them for these last 4 years with the level of focus, with a clear vision, a clear strategy, with intelligence, with pragmatism, and with a no blinking attitude. The ability for mobilize our people, the ability for inspire our people, the ability for give our people hope and confidence, the ability for craft a strategy where they give the Ambazonian people them freedom, the ability for articulate the Ambazonian problem, the way we not only the enemy respect the way we articulate that problem, but the international community, it finally come to the understanding. Say all this while, Cameroon don't be playing a fraud game. Ambazonia and Cameroon, they not be get anything in common. No act of union be ever signed, and the process for bring the two countries them for even form a relationship or a union, the process not be take place. So Cameroon presence to Ambazonia, now an act of occupation and neo-colonialism. Now an act on black colonialism. What did it happen for Ambazonia? Now a war of occupation and now a genocide. Dr. Abadon be able for articulate to the Ambazonian people and to the international systems the Ambazonian position. Not only we're right as a people, not only we're right for defend ourselves, but we're right for lay claim and for stake our claim to the land of our birth. The international system, they don't rally them, create international partners. So we understand why Ambazonia has a big concern. We understand why Ambazonia has to be afraid. Say, what if the people for governing council of Ambazonia, they go in for this election, and what if they not elect Dr. Ayaba? I think, say, how it don't run the organization and how it don't lead the governing council of Ambazonia. We think, say, the council of the National Council and the Council of Missions, now two organizations, two institutions within the governing council of Ambazonia, they will elect the leadership. The National Council and Council of Missions. Now them go elect leadership. We think say the way it don't run that organization and how it don't lead the organization as an organization and how it don't also lead the Ambazonian people as the leader of the Ambazonian War of Independence. We think say it get 99% chances, say, because of its track record, because of its vision, and because of its successes. We think, say, the National Council and the Council of Missions, based on the charter, they go re-elect Dr. Ayaba. Now, the few only elect person at 2 times. They go re-elect him for this last time, for making finish the work for liberating Ambazonian people. Secondly, because now an institution and it be based on the constitution or the charter, Ambazonian people they no need for fear anything, because now a system will be self-correcting. The way they don't set up the governing council of Ambazonia, any leader, even if now the vice president take over the governing council of Ambazonia, Mona no say he go still the follow na the vision, he go follow na the strategy, he go follow na the roadmap, because now a system will already belong for liberate Ambazonia. So they will not only need for depend on Dr. Ayaba, why it lead the revolution, why it lead the freedom of Ambazonia, but the Ambazonian people not entirely need for depend upon it. Just like the way they don't make the ADF. General Efan, now the supreme commander of Ambazonia Defense Forces, when I lead the war for ground, based on the vision and the strategy where the governing council of Ambazonia don't give it. Now they lead the war for ground. But the Ambazonia Defense Forces, it need to only depend on General Efan. They get Lieutenant General. Then they get the step in command. With them too, they lead the effort. Should in case anything happen with General Efan, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, it will remain stable. Same with the governing council of Ambazonia. Should in case anything ever happen with Dr. Ayaba, knock on wood, the institution will remain stable and leadership will immediately, the vice president will immediately take over and continue with the same strategy. Because the mindset already be built in within the institution. That's why we ask all the blocks for ground zero. Ask all commanders them. Make them step up and align themselves with the Ambazonian Defense Forces so that all commanders, they go get the same mindset, they go get the blueprint of the liberation so that no matter place where they don't need ASU, they don't need Capo. For tell them, they don't need Dr. Yeba. They go get the blueprint of the liberation. That's why people, Ambazonians, they need to align themselves with sound institutions where they be corruption proof. They be bribery proof. You know if you bribe them, you know if you corrupt them, you know if you infiltrate them. So that what institutions, they go stand the test of time. Because now through sound institutions will they be based on the systems where they don't set up. Based on the charter. No man of you violate that charter for favor of a person. The Ambazonian Governing Council no go violate the charter of Governing Council of Ambazonia just because for favor Dr. Eba. It no go happen. It no go happen. Now the country this is 1 billion. That's why the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it be the government of the United Kingdom, the Oxford University, their research where they talk with them, their research where they make them, and their document where they publish them. They talk say the Governing Council of Ambazonia now the most structured institution for Ambazonia War of Independence. Same thing with the United Nations. For their report, they talk say the Governing Council of Ambazonia now the most structured and the strongest institution where Ambazonia they get them. Same thing with the European Union. Same. Because they put them for a good foundation. They not put them for who be who. No, now a system. And it go stand the test of time. Now the institutions and this, now the infrastructure them this, where Ambazonia they need for count on, depend on, for post-independence political stability, for proper development of Ambazonia, for create economic opportunity for the Ambazonian people them, for negotiate international deals, trade deals, where go be 1000% favorable to the Ambazonian people them. And when I know say not be people if you buy them, if you corrupt them. So not be people they will sell Ambazonians. Or sell the future of our people then. Or take our resources them give them for outside world free in favor of a few. That's why La Republic don't try for even buy some of we when are activists. They not fit. They don't try for bribe Capo, for bribe ASU, bribe Tapa, bribe Vela. They not fit succeed. Because the institution, it go through Ambazonia them and look men and women where they get strong character. Men and women where their value system, their character, their personality, you not fit corrupt them. So you fit trust that kind of system where it get those templates for even make an assessment on a person. I remember I began a conversation with the Secretary General of Ambazonia Defense Forces, Comrade Ayamba. One day he tell me, say, PS, you know how we come for know who you be? He say you make some post. You detail chronological events where they happen for Boki, for Kajifu, and for Daddy. He said when we go compare them, we'll look all till we be talk. We be talk true. We'll start for follow your work. He take my picture. He take some 5 picture where I be put them. He take some picture. He send this piece. He said, he will see that guy will say, how be that boy? Now be that fine boy. Now be that ambassador for Canada. Now be this boy. So he organized make Dr. Eba come for Canada. He said, now be this boy. May he come for Canada for 2018. And then they also host other leaders. Now be this boy. He said, we'll do background work for you. He said it takes 6 months for do background work for me. And then it takes them another 6 months before they even can make me PS for the executive office. Same thing. Any person who they don't appoint for governing council of Ambazonia, we did go through a thorough process. They did really check who you be, what you be your character, what you be your value. You fit in with the vision. You be a person who really stand for Ambazonia, or you did do this thing because you did look for fame, or you did do this thing that because you did find a position, or you did do this thing that because you did find way for penetrate the system. That's why most of other institutions, like the public, don't take them over. They don't corrupt them, bribe them, weaken people then. That's why the governing council of Ambazonia still stands strong. Now the same thing, they don't create the Ambazonia Defense Forces. That's why would all what did happen for Ground Zero. All the top generals and commanders of Ambazonia Defense Forces, they still stand strong on the ground. All the main brigades and fighters of Ambazonia Defense Forces, 99.99% of all their fighters, they still stand strong. They take those same systems, they build a formidable force, train those forces, bring in professionals. May they train those forces both on guerrilla warfare and surgical operation and special forces. And in the last 4 years, the governing council of Ambazonia never failed the Ambazonian people, even for one thing. They laid the roadmap for liberate Ambazonia. They deliver on those promises for make the territory ungovernable, for increase the cost of occupation, right? Make the territory ungovernable. Make sure say Cameroon lost total control for being able for govern Ambazonia. Make sure say the governors will not be effective anymore. Make sure say the DO they run. Make sure say the SDOs they don't run. Make sure say the parliamentarians they run. The senators they run. They deliver on that promise. Cameroon lost control. Ambazonian people, they take control through the block by block strategy. The talk say make will increase the cost of occupation. That means say Cameroon, they go to pay plenty money for try for keep Ambazonia under occupation. If first Cameroon go buy armor cars, they not be get up. If first Cameroon go buy bulletproof vest. If first Cameroon go buy helicopters, war helicopter. If first Cameroon, it change everything what they do. They borrow plenty money just to try for beef Ambazonia. Because the only reason for beef Ambazonia now economic exploitation for economic benefits. Now, when the cost of occupation it be higher than the economic exploitation, then Cameroon now would be now for lost business, bad business. Then they put 10 times more money and they only get 1%. If they put 20 million, if you only get out of 1 million, so they lost 90 million. Or if they put 10 million, if you only get now only 1 million, they lost 9 million. Then he talks say, it's not correct so. We must make Cameroon experience economic crisis. We start for making Cameroon start loss. Business start collapse for Cameroon. It talks say for our targeted diplomacy. We must intensify and disgrace Cameroon internationally. That strategy, useless Cameroon internationally. For every part, we useless Cameroon, humiliate Cameroon. So they make Pobia, he go for Paris. He try for talk English. He make he publicly acknowledge. Say since 1961, their plan be there now for assimilate the Ambazonian people and therefore transform them for become French. And say their plan fail. We beat them for all their corruption gain. They try for bribe leaders, buy activists for take over the revolution. We deny them. Even the leaders who they don't buy them, the Sarkos and the Christianus, even their activists who they don't pay them money, may they scatter the revolution. We not live and may they scatter the revolution. We disgrace Cameroon internationally, humiliate them, we make Cameroon become a mockery of the international system. We make Cameroon become a country of shame, a country of international humiliation. We make their international credit rating, it go down to 0. So now, even for them for go borrow money, they go for pay high interest rate. And then on the ground, we battle them, defeat them, take that, gain dynamic control. When he can tell the Ambazonian people, say, look, we get for move from the stage for just fight Cameroon for Ambazonia, for make ourselves an international contender. Make the world not see the Ambazonian people anymore as a geographic location of Cameroon. So they intensify targeted diplomacy. Until gain international partners, secure countries where they be friendly and sympathetic and for stand for the justice and right for the Ambazonian people then. Ambazonia become an international contender. They start to recognize our right as a people. Change for Nagitibo and Mop. Talk for Nagitibo, a change. Talk for the European Union, change. Talk for the Germans, the change. Talk for the British Parliament, change. It get a series of big, high-level meetings. As he lead the Ambazonian people, it gain trust and respect of the international system. They start to see as a credible leader, as a person where if he bring stability for the Gulf of Guinea, for lead a people for freedom, end the occupation and end the genocide on the Ambazonian people then. Say the governing council of Ambazonia under the leadership of Dr. Ibacho, it be strong enough, it be capable enough, and it be trustworthy enough for secure a new era for the Ambazonian people then. It get high-level meetings, about 3 or 4 of those meetings, with people then for the House of Lords and the British House of Commons. Head of states, top diplomats from the United States State Department, many countries. For the international system, the same. The UN come in. Big international organizations. They see this man, they say yes. Finally, the people of Southern Cameroons, the people of Ambazonians, they get a leader who will be bold enough for challenge the occupation, for challenge Cameroon. And not only for challenge Cameroon, but be bold enough, be intelligent enough, be powerful enough, be strong enough. And the kind wisdom and charisma we get her. Because he don't study the international system. He study international law. He study human rights law. And he know how to merge these two things. And he know how to conduct the Ambazonian people in the way we will succeed. We finally become an international contender. We move from being an international contender It starts for secure nations. And for let how negotiations go happen. When the time come about negotiations, it tell them, say the Ambazonian people, they no go take anything when I consure. They no go take any backdoor deals. It tell we say they go test we. And if we blink, now we go fail. They go test we if we go fall for the small trap. For rush for negotiation. And when I see what happen with the infiltrators, they just rush. They fall for Paul B. Chucky. They fall for the international system, they are Chucky. It moved the United States State Department. It moved the Swiss Foreign Ministry. When the other one, they did run for go back Swiss HD. Yeah, HD, come, can't talk away, can't talk away. We go take what you want to talk. He says, no, we're not going to deal with some NGOs. Them. If they be credible enough, we will deal directly with their foreign ministry. It moved the Swiss Foreign Ministry. It moved the US State Department. They come to the Ambazonian people and they get a direct meeting for Norway. It not end so. It moved United States. It moved United Nations. They come for ye. The UN come for the Ambazonian Governing Council. We'll not go beg them because of the strategy. Because we make ourselves powerful enough. We gain their respect. We gain their trust. And as when I hear, as he can tell the Ambazonian people, he say when they don't start for change talks, he can't tell the Ambazonian people, say, the talks with the United Nations, it don't fail. Not been a backdoor deals. And he educate the United Nations. He say for during other war them, we don't be like our own. Now so when be handle them, now so when be handle them, now the case study than this. Now when a president, now they how I don't do this kind of work this. And that's so when I must do them. It talks in this in many countries. We not go only accept now one country, make it talks in one mediate. Because corruption over plenty for the international system. Corruption of minerals. Corruption on trophies. So we do, they call them economic hitmen. And I want to make all Ambazonians, when I go watch the documentary, the economic hitman. How did he use country them and multinational organization for hijack a people their destiny and take over everything where they get them? When I need to understand those things, it's a go for preventer. La Republique when I see them, economic hitmen, they don't take over La Republique. That's why Paul Bianofi do nothing. That's why during this genocide, when I see the she don't quiet, because those multinationals, where they get cheap resources, Cameroon don't get a country again. They don't sell them. They don't sell even their hospitals. They don't sell their airports. Their whatever they drink them, the multinational companies, they don't buy them. Even their road them, they don't buy them. Their seaport, they don't buy them. Cameroon as a country, they don't auction them. It be owned by multinationals. All those Paul Atanganji, the Diongute, all them, their army, police, gendarme. Now the multinationals, they control them. We'll talk more about this. So, Ambazonian, they need a leader where it not go only challenge La République du Cameroon, but it will be so defiant and so unblinking so that they go no say, they say this time around, it will be the same business as in 1961. Say, now a new generation. And we go demand for the justice we need them. I will not go make any political compromises with Cameroon. They must get out. So it build we a force. It tell we say, for we forget the kind negotiations we will want them. And we go guarantee the independence of Ambazonia. We must stabilize the ground. The block by block, make the territory ungovernable. All forces they woke up, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All man woke up for achieve that goal. Then, now where we don't reach to the level where we be now a party to the conflict. Where they identify we separate from La République du Cameroon. Now we now go for project power because the international system the way on. Now we almost did like 50-50 with Cameroon. Almost like that. So that's why the diplomacy be a little bit slower because the international system engage. The Ambazonian people, they get dynamic control. But they get the ability for knock Cameroon out. Or Cameroon get the ability for start for make some gains them. And therefore, whoever get, if na Cameroon get the ability for use Sako and Chris Andrew them, use Akwanga, buy fighters them, sell the other one them for DDR, and then the war start die for ground, then Cameroon will get an upper hand, and Ambazonia they don't get any choice than for go sign a peace deal where Cameroon want them. If Ambazonia and Dr. Iba say, look, if we make that mistake and fall for the trap, where they use Samuel Sako and Chris Anu, and Akwanga, and Bo Hebe, and Elvis Kumeta, and Abdul Karim them, if we leave them, they use them, they use the numbers, they use the success in Congo for buy fighters, move fighters from ground zero, just like what happened last week. And this week, when I don't hear another story, I don't want to talk, that one not matter for tomorrow. If we leave them, they do this thing, the war cool down for ground. The Ambazonian people go remain under perpetual occupation. So he said, look, the ADF be a powerful force. We need to do more. All the blocks with these infiltrators, they don't kill the fighters them for they sell the fighters them to La République du Cameroon, and then the other one them, they move to DDR center, and then show them say the war on the end. Top commanders they run the territory. The Ambazonia Defense Forces they go for the fill in the gaps with those the blocks with those fighters. They not did it again. So now the same thing happened for Lebialem. We've been already know since 2018. Say this thing that it happened. The ADF is start for build capacity for Lebialem with all the noise where they go on. So when they use Ayeke, so they take Ayeke out, they use Field Marshal and the Red Dragons, and now I don't hear all thing non finish about them. When I don't hear about that one. Okay? The ADF, it be the build capacity. Say as those blocks, they fall, the ADF will fill in the place. The Ambazonia Defense Forces control 80% of the BLM. 80% of the BLM, it be under Ambazonia Defense Forces control. So those places where Ayeke Bidede and Field Marshal Bidede, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, they go fill in the gap. It tells we say we need to stabilize the ground. We need for show every phase of our war of independence. The leader of our war of independence, Dr. Ibacho, through the governing council of Ambazonia, it take we for every phase. It define the phase and it tell we what we need for doing. Every phase. It tell we from phase 1. So we got to go block by block. It tell we so we got to make the territory ungovernable. It tell we so we got to increase the cost of occupation. It tell we so we got to engage for economic sabotage, for crumble Cameroon economically. It tell we so we must engage for targeted diplomacy. It tell we. And then it define international contenderhood. Now they don't come for can't define for we, because we don't achieve those things. Now that they see we and Cameroon as equal partners to the conflict. For get into a negotiation table, Cameroon for one side and Ambazonia for one side. Not be na some matter way na Southwest and Northwest, and na Cameroon go choose who they will go represent Southwest and who will go now which CPDM people they will go represent people for Northwest. Just as they do now for their colonial house of chiefs. A definer. Now they can't define the stabilization plan. The stabilization plan, as the leader, don't explain it for the Ambazonian people. Now for give the Ambazonian people a new level of hope. Now for make sure say the infiltrators, they not kill this revolution. Now for make sure say the Samuel Sako and Chris Ano, they not self-fight as a ground and the war come to an end. But instead, now for increase what defense capacity for ground zero. Now for make sure so we minimize the impact of the infiltrators and their proxy forces them, while we strengthen ground zero and reduce kidnapping for ransom. Protect our people them. Protect our community. Show confidence. Make Ambazonian they see the power of their forces and how strong we be. Then project that force diplomatically. For tell the world, say not be just block by block, but we'll get powerful force. A powerful force will enter Boya for broad daylight. Take over the governor's mansion, take over the prime minister lodge, and pin the Ambazonian flag. Just like the Ambazonian people for Canada, they capture the colonial embassy and pin Ambazonian flag for broad daylight. The leader talks say, was special forces where the bill where the general on the ground they build the special forces. Now for build a force will be powerful enough, it be big enough. Why all the other forces they maintain the block by block? The stabilization force. Now a force will if you move in for Kumba immediately. It just pick the colonial SDO did it. Put it for inside Kumbaran about. Or they put it for the football field for that side when you go when you climb that hill for Kumba. How they call it? When you go, I think Fiango. When you climb that hill, go Fiango. When you come up for post office or Kumba, and you the one go for Fiango. Carry come for that place. Hangi. A force will big enough, broad daylight. If he march through Cameroon B, Cameroon Army, capture l'Afrique, and bring it for downtown Bamenda, put it and execute it for their crimes on the Ambazonian people, for their crimes of genocide, for their crimes of terrorism, for their crimes of colonialism, for being the chief agents of colonialism and genocide. A force will be big enough where if you move from Bamenda, enter inside Manfe, and go pick the colonial SDO for broad daylight. Put it for the junction, put it for the independent, Ambazonia independent statue for Manfe runabout. Put it for there and hang that deal. We don't kill our people then. When I sign an order, make all Ambazonians from 16 villages, may they come out their villages and may they run, they go for bush, or their military go execute all man. That colonial SDO will shoot a pregnant woman, kill it for broad daylight. We must build a force. It defines the stabilization force. And as we speak, we have forces. We have special forces for the stabilization force. They be ready. The money we don't raise them. They don't procure the materials. The general and the lieutenant, they go show una special forces. And it will be the happiest day for our lives. They go unveil the special forces. And it will be one of the happiest day for the Ambazonian people then. Every single Ambazonian. Even the one the way they don't support, where they don't support the infiltrators. Even the one the way they don't coach Dr. Ayaba. They coach Capo, coach Asu, coach Mama Wally, coach all man. Even those people, they will woke up, they clap, they clap, they clap, they clap. Just like they clap for the ADF. Just like they know say the ADF that they hope for the Amazonian people there. Just like they know say the governing council of Amazonia that the only thing will remain for assure and secure the independence of Amazonia. So, the governing council of Amazonia, it don't give Amazonia them. This generation will rise up for defend the independence where Pa Goji Dinka it be restore them for the Amazonian people then. Then Justice Ebon he declare them. C'est quoi Yoktabe? It can reaffirm the restoration of that independence. Dr. Yabacho, he don't woke up with the Ambazonian people then for defend that independence. Not been a political play. But the lives of our people then. It don't give you all what it take for liberate the homeland. It studied the enemy more than anyone before. It studied all three Cameroon constitutions. It know the country in and out. It know how they play. It know how they think. It studied all their international systems. It know how they work. So when it articulate to the Ambazonian people then, now because it know the rules of the game, how to play and win. How to play and be respected. How for play and how for them to take you serious. You must tell you so you must be powerful. That's why I build a powerful force. Now for Project Ambazonia. For the new level, for place where things they need for be. Now for Project Ambazonia. In the way we will demonstrate total control. So we maintain peace, security, and stability. Now we go for demonstrator. Anything short of that, we go now for a 50-50 deal with Cameroon. And I think that Cameroon the want. Now the thing that they use Sako and Chris Anu for push Ambazonia, weaken Ambazonia, so that they go get a 50-50 deal with Cameroon. Now the goal of Sako that. Now the goal of Chris Anu that. Now the goal of the infiltrator them that. Weaken Ambazonia as much as possible. Move all the fighters. Give them back to la République de Cameroon. So that Cameroon will get some level of control for ground zero. Then Ambazonia will go sign a peace agreement. Not be independence. Not be freedom. As the Swiss, they don't show we. So they be interested. Now for make sure so they sign a peace agreement. And then Cameroon will decide what to happen with. Now Cameroon now will decide what you want offer them. How the new country will be. Not be the Ambazonian people then. So Dr. Ayaba offer the Ambazonian people what to guarantee freedom, what to guarantee independence. So since 2017, we don't tolerate all this mediocrity. We don't leave them. Make Ambazonia and they get into this political competition. and we live and make Ambazonians. Where they talk to make all man come together. We don't give una 3 years of experiments. Make una self una learn through trial by error. We don't give una 3 years. Una don't give them 3 years. May they show una whether they know what they do. May they show una whether they get any interest for the liberation of homeland. And for 3 years, they prove them to the Ambazonian people and what you research we don't tell we. Say they truly be infiltrators. And tomorrow, I go take una on the journey of how they use Ambazonians then for self-defense. Wait till they show now, wait till don't can turn out. And why most of their fighters they don't surrender. And why they not get fighters on the ground anymore. So for 3 years, when I don't get enough learnings, when I don't get enough experience, when I don't get enough evidence, we no go tolerate this nonsense anymore. Any man we they call the butchers of our people, the killers of our forces, say, oh, when I go unite, even when I get all the evidence. Some person they call from, who take this call? Who see? Hello?
Yes, PS.
Yes, are they live?
Yes, I beg block Christian phone. They are really irritating us. Block Christian phone. And block this guy they question no.
All right, you see, so when I sabi say, as La République, they fear the effectiveness of our advocacy, the effectiveness of our strategy. When I sabi say, they pay Facebook plenty money, may take down all our accounts. This account, I just created them about a week or so ago, a new account. And I talk say, make I leave the platform, make it be open for people them, for come in, but may they only be civil. So I open the platform for all man. If you come in, if you participate, if you send me friendship request, if you comment, but we just ask me all man be civil. So now we get complaints say for Facebook, they worry our followers, our viewers, they worry Ambazonians, La République agents. When they hear this kind of talk, it is shake them. So we know say the people them for Blue and White Army, they come for worry our people them. So make we check now who they worry Ambazonians and make we take them out of our conversations. Okay? Make we see who they be. All right. There we go. We go take all one out. Any man will not behave, may you know say you go. At the monitor comments. So for place where they will be a powerful people. Moving forward to 2021, the only collaboration we will go get them. Now they focus on the liberation on the ground. We go focus now on our strategy. We go focus for the liberation. Any man with the call say make Ambazonians, they go reconcile, they go collaborate with the butchers of our people. Move yourself back to Cameroon. Stabilization for stabilized ground zero now our priority. For Project Ambazonia now our focus. For make our people may they feel safe within their community or their communities now our focus. For increase our international engagement for an effective multilateral negotiation, it will be at the focus of the leadership. It will be at the focus. Ground zero now our focus. So we go continuous for mobilize, for put more guns on the ground, for put more bullets on the ground. If we get the means, every single Ambazonian, it go get a gun. If we get the means, every Ambazonia on the territory, it will be armed. We must defend this independence by any means necessary. Next, every chief and every fund where you go take money for poor beer, for participate for their colonial regional election, you be a person, you don't commit treason because you don't go sign a pact for recolonize Ambazonia, for give legitimacy for Cameroon, make it occupy our people then. You go sign a document for say you give license for Cameroon and for Paul Biya and their military, make they continue for commit genocide on the Ambazonian people. You be a traitor, and for any war of independence, there is a price which traitors they pay. Any person where it betray a people, where it betray the hopes, the aspiration of a people, any person where you be an enabler of genocide, an enabler of state-sponsored terrorism, you be an enabler of colonialism, there is a price. What defense forces, since the day when you take your hand, you go vote, you take money or pobia for sell Ambazonia. The Ambazonia Defense Forces and all our sister forces and every other force who is there for ground zero, they go come after you. Even if you move now for Yaoundé, they go find you just like they find Ekema. In one way or the other, they go get you. Every single man or woman where he participate for Cameroon colonial election, the Ambazonia Defense Forces and all our sister forces and all other forces where they there for ground zero, for any man or woman, they go hunt you to the gate of hell. For say you decide for sell the 25,000 Ambazonia the way Paul Biya don't kill them. You decide for disregard their death, their lives, the 500 and something village in Ambazonia where they don't born them. You decide for not care. You decide for be a traitor. You decide for be an enabler of occupation, of terrorism, of genocide, of colonialism. You don't commit acts of treason. And there is a price. Not before this generation. No man, no officer this generation anymore. So whether they are uncle or they are auntie, where it become an enabler and it participate for facilitate Cameroon occupation of Ambazonia, for facilitate Cameroon genocide on the Ambazonian people, for facilitate Cameroon terrorism on Ambazonian people then. Any person, the Ambazonian people go hold any person responsible. Will go hold you accountable. And they will exact justice on each and every man or woman we stand up for betray the Ambazonian people then. And for every activist you did for outside here, every Ambazonia activist where you did run your mob for outside here, me know say the Ambazonian people that they keep records. All the one them where they engineer the killings of our forces. All the one where they take money for La République du Cameroon for engineer chaos and intoxication and for attack leaders. Every single one of una where una engineer chaos for a war of independence. Una raise money, say una buy weapons, una embezzle them, una lie for the Ambazonian people them, time and time and time and time and time again. Una distract Ambazonians, move Ambazonian up and down. For all una crimes and the engineering of the cutting of our people, their hand, their fingers, their bobby them, and their food them. Every person will pay in due time. Every person. Someone don't come out again today, yesterday. They call him Mr. Nanchop. I don't know who he be. I just read them. Sako, the sell Siseko Ayok Tabe to la République du Cameroun. Sako and Chris Ano, the sell Siseko Ayok Tabe for la République du Cameroun, for them to take over the IG on behalf of Cameroon. It's not correct. They impeach Siseko. And then they talk say they want kill him. Chris Ano, he talks say they must poison Siseko for prison. Una sell it for poor beer, that one not correct. Una impeach it, that one not correct. Una say una must kill it for prison, that one not correct. Una say una must poison it, that one not correct. Now, they go after a woman. They go after Lillian Siseko Ayok Tabe. We hear now say, the one way that they call it say, Nanchop. We hear now say, their plan now for how them for destroy Siseko Ayok Tabe, a woman character. And for tarnish that woman image. The woman don't lost a man. A man there for prison. When the woman did struggle for make sure say how if he keep picking them together. How if he fight for make a man come out for prison. How if he fight for the Ambazonian people them. The devils of La République du Cameroun. The devils of Samuel Sakoyi and Chris Ano. They no go leave even a woman. May get more peace of mind. They go now after Siseko a woman. They try for kill Siseko, they not succeed. Now for a woman. Now the level that, now the evil nature that of Sako and Chris Ano. Now they go now after Lillian Ayok Tabe. Ambazonians. Not be now who will be this. Are the call on every single one of una. We not give these people them a breathing space. We not give people like this a breathing space. We not give evil, this kind of evil a breathing space. We not tolerate them even for 1 second. We not tolerate Sako, ye and Chris Ano. We don't pay the price for 3 years. We not tolerate Sako and Chris Ano. When we get all the evidence say they be infiltrators. We don't pay the price for 3 years. They don't kill more than 680 fighters of their own within 3 years. Kill most of their generals. Sell the other one for La République du Cameroun. Cause infighting. Now they're not correct. Even when they sell Ayok for La République, it's not correct. Even when they sell the Partasan and the Pan for Galan for. That one not correct. Now they go now after Lillian Ayok Tabe. Now they go now after Siseko woman. We not tolerate them. We not give any room for this kind evil for our societies. We not give any room. Even for a year, as we watch, people they watch on Facebook. Any traitor, any enabler for comment section, we not give you any room. We not take them out. Now they battle this. Now they battle this. Even for comment section, we not battle them. Even for their post, we not battle them. We not give any room for these kind of people them. For betray wa mami them. For treat wa mami them that way. For treat wa sisters them that way. We not give room. We not give room for the non-chops. We not give any room. Any room we not give them it go cause na more pain on the Ambazonian people then. Going forward, we're gonna two focus. Focus on stabilize the ground. For Project Ambazonia, stabilize the ground. And then Project Ambazonia make the world see we as a credible partner. So if we bring peace, security, and stability for the Gulf of Guinea. Stabilize the ground for give our people them confidence. Stabilize the ground for make sure say the Ambazonian people, no matter La République du Cameroon, their propaganda. So if we stop every single Cameroon event with the strive for stage and for Ambazonia, we'll get work for doing. That's why there will be no room for any nonsense. There is no more room for any nonsense. It no matter who you be. It no matter the name of your force where you be. Any man where you not stand up for fight for Ambazonia independence. Defend the Ambazonian people then. Defend Ambazonian interest. There will be no room. So too on the ground. Any group of force on the ground where you go after the Ambazonian people then. Make you know say your days them too they no go last. Any force where you roll for ground zero, now for do kidnapping for ransom, now for the do extortion, now for the harass our people them on behalf of Cameroon, the stabilization force, it will come after you. It will come after you. Our people for liberated areas, they go for live a good life. They go for start for feel the independence. They go for start for feel the Ambazonia who one belong. So I call upon all women as the year they come to an end. We get for cut off all the bad habits. We get for cut off all the tolerance of corruption. Cut off all the tolerance of manipulation. Our people get for cut off all the tolerance of deception and the loud talking. We get for cut off. We get for cut off all the enablers, the traitors, the infiltrators. We get for cut them off for our war of independence. And align ourselves with what will give our people hope. We no go tolerate anymore any of this political nonsense. We no tolerate all these small political debates. Ground zero. Any man will not be armed ground zero, get the fuck out. Oops, I just talked in French. Any movement where you not be focused now for make ground zero may be strong, get out. Get out. Why people don't come too far for any man for use their lives for play games. 4 years, it don't be enough. Now for move our war of independence to the next level. I'm going to talk this what I want to talk for today. I will check the comment section. and see if any man get any question. Mr. Abdul Maikano. Now a new platform this, not been a comedy platform, all right? We speak now for ground zero. I check any question, any comment. Oh, make I address one thing where some person don't raise them. When I think that 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Yeah, not 3 days ago for Christmas Day. When ADF Commander Bush Rambo for Oku, he take out Cameroon, La République du Cameroun Amoka. Would you say some people, they don't go for outside there? Make a check if I get that information. We hear say some people don't go for outside. Must check if I get that information for now. They don't go for outside. They talk say, okay, this person, this guy that they call Tata Chris. His name na Tata Chris. He there for Facebook. Tata Chris. He don't go. He raise money for scam when Bush Rambo he go carry out action. We don't hear say Tata Chris. He don't go to put information for outside there. He talks say he don't give a cash app and he give a phone number and he give money for PayPal, make people they send money for PayPal. We don't always tell the Ambazonian people. This game where Paul Bia they use them for buy fighters. For say people like Tata Chris, they feel come off outside, they come Shidon, they talk say they want to raise money for forces. The Ambazonia Defense Forces, it raise money as an institution for its forces. Now the institution under the ADF, of the ADF, now they decide how they go divide weapons, how they supply their forces then. We don't talk say they say any person we want donate money for Ambazonia Defense Forces. Go for ttuf.net, go donate them. Because now so they start for corrupt soldier them. Now so they start for buy soldier them. Now so they start for talk say then they feel sustain soldiers them. Now so they will start for frustrate soldiers, infiltrate soldiers, sell soldiers. So Tata Chris, will call upon you by your post for raise money for Bush Rambo. Bush Rambo not been an independent fighter. Bush Rambo now a commander under the Ambazonia Defense Forces. So if you want to raise money for Bush Rambo, come for Ambazonia Defense Forces leadership. Do the fundraising under Ambazonia Defense Forces. Will not ask any citizen for raise money and try for go sponsor fighters. When I don't try that nonsense, it don't fail when I for all the other ones that when I try for do them. It don't fail. It don't lead for corrupt fighters. And then when I try them, when I not feel sustain them, those fighters they will tend for kidnapping for ransom for them for survive. So Tata Chris will call upon you for stop for use the successes of our fighters then for try for move the fighters then from the group because when I want try for go take them and sponsor them as independent fighters. Fighters enough to liberate the land independently. They're not fit. They must operate under a political structure and follow a political strategy. So, Abuan just bring that one as a point of clarification. Make us see if other people get any other comments or any question. All right. I never get no other comment. I don't get no other question. And therefore, I do also check WhatsApp if some person be send question for WhatsApp. All right. So we also check WhatsApp for make sure say if question come for WhatsApp, we go also take them. We also check Facebook messages them. Okay. All right. Now I talk that for today. I hope say as always we don't bring on a clarity. We hope say as always we don't educate. We hope say as always we don't empower. Now the clarity that will come out for the executive office regarding this election way a lot of people they be worried about. Make we leave for now, and we will leave for now with this music from our brother Fokker. All right, make una get a great evening. Una salute all man. Una stay strong. Una stay committed. The leader go to address the Ambazonian people them right after New Year. May all man get a good night.
Menemo, I have Fokker. I'm not better with international. My friend is all freestyle, but in my bed with different storylines, with different punchlines. A Jongzo and a more universal rapper.
AJ on track.
I'm still on the one of us that are coming. The Kwame miracle, but in my raps, catching my rascal. Menemo, I'm a better Nagaton. I can't on YouTube telephone. I don't take it. And the life is strong. I like not one, but Menemo. I will win a better cup. When you come, I will win a canoe. When you can't get things like a mobile car, chin mobile car, but I'm a better cham. Come in a back of Imagine, Papa Sang, I know them. How come Manu Fair Drop was Muraki? I'm telling you, Ben, I'm coming. My parent, my mother, and my head. They don't come and take up a theatre of my name. American, I'm a wet. I'm a being in the all the car for me. I'm a team book, cinema, who is seeing Gum Bano, you're a bazar and you're buying Gum, you're a bazar and Nizam, Ramazamo.